My husband cheated with his boss, the shocking betrayal that pushed me to leave him forever. My name is Mia, and I used to believe in fairy tales. I married the man of my dreams, Adam, when I was 26. He was everything I thought I needed in a partner: charming, intelligent, ambitious. We met in college, and it was love at first sight. He had a way of making me feel like I was the only woman in the room. And when he proposed, I couldn't have been happier. We had it all: a beautiful house, a loving marriage, and plans for the future. But all of that came crashing down one cold evening in late autumn, when everything I thought I knew about my life, my marriage, was ripped apart in a single moment. It started like any other day. Adam had been working late at the office, trying to climb the corporate ladder at his company. He was dedicated, driven, and that was one of the things I admired most about him. I was sitting at home, curled up on the couch with a glass of wine, flipping through a book when my phone buzzed. It was a text from one of Adam's colleagues. "Mia, I just wanted to give you a heads up. I'm really sorry to tell you this, but I think you should know. I saw Adam with his boss, Rachel, last night. It looked more than professional." I froze. My mind couldn't process what I had just read. Rachel? His boss? They were seen together? I didn't want to jump to conclusions. Maybe it was innocent. Maybe there was some sort of work-related event, some context I didn't understand. But deep down, something felt off. Something inside me twisted in a way I couldn't ignore. I texted back, trying to stay calm. "What do you mean, more than professional?" The reply came almost instantly. "I don't know how to say this, Mia. But I saw them at the bar last night." Adam was holding her hand. They were laughing and touching each other. It didn't look like just a work thing. My heart sank. It felt like the ground beneath me had just shifted. Adam would never do something like that. Or at least, that's what I had always believed. But now, the doubt had crept in, gnawing at me. I didn't confront him that night. I couldn't. I spent hours pacing around the house, my thoughts spiraling. I couldn't sleep, couldn't eat. Every time I closed my eyes, all I could see was Adam with Rachel, their hands intertwined, their smiles shared in a way I had never seen with me. I wanted to believe it was a misunderstanding. But a part of me knew that something was wrong. The next day, I couldn't take it anymore. I had to know the truth. I waited until Adam came home that evening, pretending everything was normal. I didn't want to seem like I was accusing him of anything, but I couldn't help the way my heart was racing. He walked in, tired but smiling. He kissed me on the cheek and dropped his briefcase on the kitchen table. "Hey, babe," he said, his voice warm. "How was your day?" I tried to keep my voice steady. "Fine. I heard something today, though. About you and Rachel." His face immediately shifted, his smile faltering just slightly. "Rachel? What are you talking about?" I looked at him, my eyes searching for any sign of guilt. "I heard that you were seen with her at the bar last night. You were holding her hand, Adam. Is that true?" For a moment, there was silence. I watched as his expression flickered, and my heart clenched in my chest. He looked like a deer caught in headlights, and for the first time in our marriage, I saw fear in his eyes. "Mia, listen," he began, his voice unsteady. "It's not what you think. I was just trying to help her out. She's been going through a tough time at work, and we had a couple of drinks. It wasn't anything more than that." But I could see it in his eyes. The hesitation, the guilt, the way he couldn't look me in the eye for more than a second. It wasn't just the story that didn't add up, it was the way he was telling it. I felt the anger rising inside me, bubbling to the surface. "So you're telling me that you were holding her hand because she was going through a tough time?" I asked, my voice sharp, barely controlled. "You don't hold someone's hand like that, Adam. Not unless you care about them. And I know you. You wouldn't have done that for just anyone." He opened his mouth to say something, but no words came out. I didn't want to hear any more lies. I didn't want to listen to his excuses. My heart was already breaking, and I could feel the tears welling up in my eyes. I know what's going on, Adam, I whispered, barely able to get the words out. You're having an affair with her, aren't you? He swallowed hard, and in that moment, I saw it. The truth. It was written all over his face. He didn't say anything. He didn't need to. His silence was enough. The tears came then. Hot and angry, they spilled down my face as I stood there, shaking with rage and betrayal. How could you do this to me? I choked out. How could you do this to us? Adam reached for me, his hand trembling as he tried to pull me into his arms. Mia, I'm so sorry. Please, just let me explain. I jerked away from him, stepping back. Explain? How can you explain this? How can you explain lying to me for months? How can you explain falling in love with her? His face crumpled, his shoulders slumping as if the weight of the situation was finally sinking in. I never meant for this to happen, Mia. I swear, I didn't plan this. But somewhere along the way, I started feeling something for her. It just happened. I shook my head, the pain cutting deeper than anything I had ever felt before. It didn't just happen, Adam. You chose this. You chose her. You chose to betray me. He looked like he wanted to say something, but there was nothing left. No more excuses, no more lies. He had crossed a line that could never be uncrossed. The days that followed were a blur of anger, confusion, and heartbreak. I couldn't even look at him. Every time I tried to speak, my words came out as nothing but sobs and accusations. I couldn't understand how the man I had trusted with my heart for years could do this to me. And it wasn't just the affair, it was the fact that he had lied to me for so long. It was the fact that he had broken everything we had built together. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, I made the decision. I couldn't stay in this house another minute, couldn't breathe in the same space where he had betrayed me, where every corner seemed to whisper the lies he'd told me. The anger was suffocating, but so was the heartbreak. I had to get out. I stood up from the couch, my heart pounding in my chest. My hands shook as I reached for my suitcase. I knew Adam would be home soon, but I couldn't wait for him to come back and try to apologize again. There was nothing left to say. I was halfway through packing when I heard the door open behind me. Adam's voice filled the room before I could even turn around. Mia. His tone was tentative, hesitant. I could feel his presence behind me, but I couldn't face him, not yet. I continued packing, my back still to him. I'm leaving, Adam. There was a long silence. I could hear him shift behind me, could almost feel the shock radiating off him. What do you mean, you're leaving? He asked, his voice breaking. You can't just leave. We need to talk. Please, Mia, we need to fix this. I felt my throat tighten. Fix this? How, Adam? How do you fix what you've done? I turned to face him, my eyes burning with unshed tears. You've broken everything, and I'm supposed to just sit here and wait for you to fix it? For you to apologize? It's too late for that. You've ruined us. His face was pale, and I could see the guilt in his eyes. But I also saw desperation. He reached for me, his hand trembling as he tried to grab my arm. Mia, please. Don't do this. I'm begging you. I never wanted to hurt you. I never wanted to hurt us. I pulled away, stepping back, my voice rising with the weight of everything I had been holding in. You don't get to say that. You don't get to beg me to stay when you've already made your choice. You've been sleeping with her, your boss, Adam. Your boss, and you think a sorry is enough? You think I can just forget about that? His eyes filled with tears, and I saw a flicker of regret in them, but it wasn't enough. Nothing could undo what he had done. I was stupid, Mia. I don't know what happened. I don't know how it got so far. But I love you. You have to believe that. You have to know that. I shook my head slowly, feeling a bitter laugh bubble up in my throat. You love me? Really? Because it doesn't feel like love, Adam. Love doesn't lie. Love doesn't betray. Love doesn't sleep with your boss and expect everything to be okay. His voice cracked, and I saw him take a step toward me, as if he thought I would collapse in his arms, as if he thought that would fix everything. Mia, I'm sorry. I know I've messed up, but please, please don't leave. Let me make it right. I'll do anything. I'll quit my job. I'll cut all ties with Rachel. I'll go to therapy. I'll do whatever it takes to prove to you that I'm still the man you married. I stepped back again, my heart aching at the desperation in his voice. But I couldn't fall for it. I couldn't let myself believe in his promises anymore. It's too late for that, Adam. You don't get to rewrite this. You've already made your choices. You've already chosen her over me. You've already chosen betrayal over honesty. And I can't forgive that. The tears started to fall, and I felt my chest tighten with the weight of everything. I don't even know who you are anymore. The man I married wouldn't have done this. The man I loved wouldn't have thrown me away like this. I don't even recognize you. His face crumpled as if my words had physically struck him. Mia, please. Don't say that. I love you. I've always loved you. This thing with Rachel, it was a mistake. A huge mistake. But you're the one I want. You're the one I need. Please don't leave me. I can't lose you. But I couldn't hear him anymore. His words, his pleas, they were just empty echoes in my mind. They didn't mean anything. Nothing could take away the images of him with her, nothing could erase the way he'd betrayed me. I could never look at him the same way again. I picked up my suitcase, holding it tightly in my hands. Goodbye, Adam. The words felt final, heavy with the weight of everything I had endured. I hope you find what you're looking for. But it won't be with me. He stood there, frozen, his face pale and broken. I didn't wait for him to say anything else. I turned and walked out of the door, the cold night air hitting my face as I stepped into the unknown. The next few days were a blur of raw emotion. I moved into a small apartment in the city, trying to find some sense of normalcy, but everything felt foreign. The bed was too big without him in it. The silence in the apartment was deafening. I missed him, no, I missed the man I thought he was. But I didn't miss the lies. I didn't miss the deceit. And I knew, deep down, that I could never go back to him. One afternoon, I was sitting at a coffee shop, trying to get some work done when my phone buzzed. It was a text from Adam. Mia, I'm sorry. I don't know what to say anymore. I've lost you, and it's my fault. But please, I can't keep living like this. I'll always love you. Please don't forget that. I stared at the message, my hands trembling as I held my phone. He didn't get it. He didn't understand. Love wasn't enough to fix what he had broken. The trust, the respect, the commitment we had, it was all shattered. And no matter how many times he said he loved me, it would never be enough. I deleted the message without responding, feeling a sense of relief wash over me. I had made the right decision. As painful as it was, as much as it hurt to walk away from everything we had built, I knew it was the only choice I could make. I deserved more than a man who would throw me aside for someone else. A few weeks later, I ran into Rachel. It was inevitable, I suppose. She was still Adam's boss, and we had mutual friends in the city. She approached me at a bar one evening, her face tense but trying to look casual. Mia, she said, her voice shaky. I need to talk to you. I know what happened. I know you left Adam. But please, understand, I never wanted to hurt you. This thing with him, it happened. I couldn't hold back the bitter laugh that escaped me. It just happened. You've got to be kidding me, Rachel. You didn't just fall into bed with him. You knew exactly what you were doing. Her face flushed with guilt, but there was no apology in her eyes. I never meant for things to go this far, Mia. But it's not just about the affair. I think I'm in love with him. I stared at her, incredulous. You're in love with him? After everything? After everything he did to me, to us? You're really going to sit here and tell me you love him? Rachel's eyes filled with tears, but I didn't feel sorry for her. Not anymore. I didn't want this to happen, Mia. But it did. And I don't know how to undo it. I don't know how to fix it. I shook my head slowly, the weight of it all pressing down on me. There's nothing to fix, Rachel. You've made your choice. You've destroyed everything. And now, you'll have to live with that. I turned and walked away from her, my heart heavy but my resolve firm. I had lost Adam. I had lost the life I thought I was building. But I was reclaiming myself. And that, for the first time in a long time, felt like enough.